saya tikyang nipat. Namo Azirafa. Very happy to be here in the Sydney, in the very sacred temple of Phap Bao, Vietnamese Buddhist temple, and I feel a lot of joy to see the Vietnamese, and also a lot of appreciation to see that Buddha Dharma. When the Vietnamese people come to Australia, they come not only with themselves, but they also come with the Buddha Dharma. They build the Buddha Dharma temple here. Venerable monks and nuns work so hard, and because of that, even though Buddha Shakyamuni went into parinirvana more than 2,700 years ago, still Buddha Dharma is, surviving, flourishing because of venerable monks and nuns, because of the lay Buddhist effort, sacrifice and dedication. So from the depth of my heart, firstly I express my gratitude for keeping Buddha Dharma flourishing, even in the country that is far from your own origin country. We, as a Buddhist follower of the Buddha Dharma and Sangha, we have all of us, we have a true duty. One is that we ourselves follow the Buddha Dharma's teaching. We understand, try to learn about Buddha Dharma's teaching of cause and effect. Buddha's teaching about compassion, how to tame your mind, to ourselves to follow the Buddha's teaching as much as possible, to learn about Buddha Dharma, karma, compassion. That is the one duty of a Buddha's follower. And the second duty of a Buddha follower is that as we have been benefited by Buddha's teaching has given us peace, blessing, understanding, making sure that this teaching will also continue to exist long after we are gone. This will continue to benefit other sentient beings, and those who will come after us will also understand the karma, understand the Dharma. This is the duty of all the Buddha's followers, these true duties. Buddha Shakyamuni got enlightened on the month of the Vesak in Bodh Gaya, and after he got enlightened, he said that I have realized something that is very profound, something that is peaceful, something that is beyond all sort of description, concept, clear, bright, something that is natural, not fabricated, something that is beyond description, like the nectar. But maybe people will not understand right now, so I will not speak. So after Buddha got enlightened, generally speaking, we say that Buddha didn't teach immediately in Bodh Gaya, but he went to Varanasi and then gave his first teaching. And first time Buddha gave teaching, we say Varanasi. Second time Buddha gave teaching from the Mahayana, we say in the Rajgir, Vultures, mountain, Prashnaparamita. And then the third time Buddha gave teaching, we say Vaishali and many various places. So this is the generally speaking, especially from the Mahayana, we say Buddha turned the wheel of the Dharma 3 times. However, some teaching, some sutra, they say that, some teachings say that when we say Buddha gave 3 times the turn the wheel of Dharma, it is from the how the people see what Buddha gave teaching. But actually Buddha is giving teaching all the time. Even when Buddha said, I found something that is profound, beyond definition, depth, deep, clear. He was already talking about the Prajnaparamita. He already gave teaching when he said these words. And it is said that when Buddha is always giving teaching, and according to people's their own karma, their own cause and conditions, depending on them. Some people for whom first they want to take care of themselves and they want to help other people later. So Buddha gave some of the yana. There may be the Theravada teaching. First liberate yourself, then liberate others. For some people, Buddha felt that they are more suitable for Mahayana. They not only want to take care, but they want to take care of every mother sentient being at the same time. So Buddha gave the Mahayana teachings. And within the Mahayana also, Buddha gave the Vajrayana teachings, for skillful method to realize the Buddha nature very, very quickly. So within the Mahayana, we say that Mahayana also, the Sutrayana and the Vajrayana. Sutrayana, we talk about as a result of the 6 paramita, we will attain the 3 kaya, the Patan, Gautan, the 3 kaya.
Wow.
As a result of the paramita and the practice, we will attain the 3 kaya Buddhahood. The Sutrayana, is the practice like that. Vajrayana says that, Vajrayana teaches that yes, the 6 paramita, the path is important, but Vajrayana, says that the 3 kaya itself can also be a practice. So that is why visualizing yourself in the Vajrayana, we talk about every sentient being, similar to Mahayana, Buddha nature, so that Buddha nature can be recognized through visualizing yourself in the Nirmana Kaya and Sambhoga Kaya Buddha form is the practice of Nirmana Kaya and Sambhoga Kaya. When you meditate on the nature of the mind, truly directly looking at the nature of the mind, you are practicing the Dharma Kaya. So in the Vajrayana, the 3 kaya itself also is considered a part to realize the 3 kaya that is already your nature. So in the Mahayana Sutra, we say that what is Buddha? Buddha is the Dharmakaya. What is Dharmakaya? Dharmakaya is the non-existing nature. Non-existing nature is the nature of every sentient being. That is why every sentient being have a Buddha nature. Every sentient being can become Buddha. Your nature of the mind from beginningless has been Dharmakaya, has been the Buddha nature. So that is why in the Vajrayana we talk about the visualization practices are one of the first step, the practices, visualizing yourself as a Buddha, visualizing Buddha in front of you, visualizing the place as a pure land of the Buddha. All of these becomes an important part of the practice. However, to kind of simplify it in terms of practice, no matter what yana you follow, when it comes to the practice, all of the 84,000 or 3 yana of teachings of the Buddha, if you go to the essence, basically comes to 3 things. Respecting the positive karma, avoiding negative karma, cause and condition, and both the positive karma or actions of your body, speech and the mind, positive and negative, arises from negative mind or positive mind. So taming your mind within these 3 things, avoiding negative karma, creating positive cause and conditions, transforming or taming your mind within these 3 is the essence of all the Buddha's teaching, no matter what form you do, whether we chant in Vietnamese or Himalayan, whether we go for Bodhigaya pilgrimage, whether we do mantra recitation, whether we make offering to Buddha, whether we build a stupa, whatever we are doing, basically we are practicing avoiding, purifying negative cause and condition, accumulating positive cause and condition, and trying to transform our mind. Basically, this is the essence of all the practice across all yana. Anything that harms others from our mind, from our speech, from our body, creates negative causal condition. Anything that helps others from our body, from the words that we use, from our thought that benefit others is a positive karma. And so the line between positive and negative karma is defined by whether it is beneficial or harmful to others and oneself. So that is why, and talking a little bit more about the karma, Buddha said that if you want to know your past life, past 10 years, past 20 years, look at your present body, look at your present life. If you want to know what is going to happen to you in next life, in next 5 years, 10 years, tomorrow, look at what you are doing right now. This teaching is a very profound, very simple, but very profound and very applicable to our day-to-day life. For example, when Buddha talked about if you want to know your past, look at your present. I feel he not only talked about past life. Yes, because of past life, you are born as a Vietnamese or a Himalayan or Australian, which country you are born, family. Yes, Buddha talked about that. But Buddha also talked about, look at your present life right now. Are you happy? Are you healthy? Do you have a good relationship with your son, your daughter, your father, your mother? Mentally, are you happy or not? If you are happy, then it is because, for example, if you are healthy right now, maybe you eat well, you exercise well, That is why, because of what you did in the past, by looking at the present, your body, we can know, doctor can know what you did in the past. Whether you drink too much, smoke too much, not take care of your health. So if you want to know your past, look at your present, can mean your health. It can also mean relationships. At this moment, are we close with our family, our friends? Do we feel lonely, or do we have lots of love and affection from our family and friends? If you have, that means in the past you are a generous, you are a kind, you are a forgiving person. You control your temper. You didn't let small things irritate you. You understood the importance of the relationship. That is why in this moment you are not lonely. You are surrounded by friends, family, neighbors. Whenever you need something, somebody is always there to help you because of what you did in the past. Right? It can also mean you look at your mental health right now. Are you full of anger? Are you full of discontentment, jealousy, pride? That means in the past we didn't do much to take care of our mental health. We didn't do Dharma practice to control our jealousy, to have a little bit of rejoicement when other people are doing well. We didn't practice impermanence. We didn't practice sense of contentment. That is why no matter what we have a lot of dissatisfaction. We are always unhappy comparing to ourselves. Why are we like that? Because in the past we didn't take care of our mental health through the Dharma practice. So Buddha's word, few words are very simple. Buddha said, if you want to know your past, look at your present. Very simple, but very deep meaning. And also Buddha said, he's saying, don't worry now, past is past, there's nothing you can do. Maybe there's a time machine in the future, but not now. There's nothing you can do. But Buddha said, if you want to know your future, look at what you are doing right now. So today you decide to change your healthy habit, your health will improve. Today you decide to control your anger, becoming a forgiving, tolerant, understanding person, your relationship will improve. Today you begin to do Dharma practice, not just for good luck, but to transform your mind. The main purpose of the Buddha Dharma is to tame your mind, tame our desire, tame our jealousy, tame our anger, tame our comparison. So if you are able to do that, your mental health, of the next 5-10 years, and not only the next 5-10 years, your lives and lives to come will be transformed. So these two things are very simple, but entire teaching of karma is in there. If you want to know your past, look at your present. If you want to know your future, look at what you are doing right now. In other religion, I'm not saying it's good or bad. Who am I to be the judge? But in comparison to Buddha Dharma, karma is not very important. Because basically your life is, dictated by somebody up there. Somebody up there created the world. What's going to happen to you, who you are going to get married, divorce. Everything is controlled from up there. So, what you do doesn't, it's important maybe to please the divine being. But in the Buddha Dharma, karma, your action, your speech, your body are very important. More important than making offering to Buddha. Because in the Buddha Dharma, you cannot bribe the Buddha. Buddha never judged. Even if you give $1 million to Buddha, he's still smiling. If you give nothing to Buddha but a stone, Buddha still smiling and blessing you. You get a good karma, good positive cause condition of offering to Buddha. But Buddha is enlightened being. He knows that the $1 million that you are offering, is a human being's concept. Right? If you give $1 million to kangaroo doesn't care. It's a human being's definition, right? If you carry like a stone around your neck called necklace, everybody feels stupid. But they wear a diamond, which is also a stone, they wear. Very proud they feel. Even the neck is painting, but they don't mind. That's because we are not enlightened. We can't see things as it is. But Buddha see things, everything the truth. So that is why for Buddha, whether you offer 1 million gold or a stone, it's the same. Buddha see the true reality. That is why Buddha Dharma is not about bribing Buddha. It's about accumulating positive causal conditions and transforming our mind through the act of generosity. Right? So that is why in the Buddha Dharma, karma becomes very important. Your actions. And one good thing about Buddha Dharma teaching is that Buddha never judge you. So your action will judge you. Buddha will not judge you. Guru will not judge you. That is not the job of the Buddha and the teacher. Your own actions will judge you. So understanding the karma becomes very important for a Buddha practitioner of Dharma. Because if you understand the karma, what does it mean? It means that, for example, you are drinking a cup of milk, for example,
Milk.
You understand that so-called milk is also due to cause and condition. I'm not talking of past life, even the present moment. First there is the grass. The cow drink the grass. And after the cow drink it, if they digest it, then it comes out as a milk. And the milk with the right cause condition becomes a cheese, becomes ice cream, become a butter. And then you eat the butter, too much butter, maybe, fatty liver problem. Too much ice cream, maybe diarrhea, it becomes part of your body, something else comes out, it comes out something else, right? So which means that, the so-called butter, milk, all of these arises due to cause and conditions. Even this house arises due to not only past life, but even the present. The steel, the cement, the plaster, all of these comes together in something called house up here. Buddha didn't make the house and throw it here. Right? It didn't come out, you sleep, in the morning there's one house up there, like an accident, It's not like that, This house didn't happen by accident, nor did God create it, Buddha created it. It arises due to cause and conditions, intention, effort, builder, architect, sponsor, the venerable, the steel, cement, all these conditions come together, then create this physical body. Similarly, our body, the flower, the tree, air, everything arises due to cause and condition. So this is important because firstly it is the truth. You can see everywhere. Karma is not something that only Buddhist is, if you are Buddhist, there is karma for you. If you are no Buddhist, no karma for you. You can do whatever you want. I always give a joke sometimes that in the morning if you fight with your wife, in the evening you don't get dinner, that's karma, Even if you are not a Buddhist, you still don't get dinner. So, whatever the teachings Buddha has given is not something like a religion. It is something that truth that Buddha realized about life, about the world, and that truth is what he taught us. So yes, there's some part of the path, for example, how we try to recognize the truth. You can say we pray to the Buddha's form, we do the chanting, we wear certain clothes associated with the Buddhism, Yes, that part you can say is a religion. But all of this, the clothes that we wear, the statue we bow down to, all of these are in order for us to realize the truth of the karma, truth of the non-existing emptiness, shunyata. To realize the truth is the ultimate goal. All of these methods, the chanting, the clothes, etc., these are like a boat you use to cross the river. It's a method. But ultimately, whatever Buddha taught is the truth he realized. That is why Buddha's teaching, if you take away the method, whatever Buddha taught is the universal truth that Buddha realized. So, the importance of the karma, the teaching of the karma, is that if you understand the karma, you will also understand many other things. For example, if you understand the karma, you will also understand impermanence. How? Because Buddha said that anything that is, many things has to come together, that is compounded, is by nature impermanent. For example, this gathering here looks very solid, but how many people have come together to become this gathering? After some time, people will go to their home, east to west, north, south. This gathering is, will also is impermanent. It will not remain. Our physical body is also composed of so many atoms and flesh and blood and so cells, and so many conditions come to compound it. Anything that is compounded is impermanent. And because it's impermanent, whatever we are attached to, when we are attached to a house, when we are attached to our body, when we are attached to the money, we are always attached to the idea of a permanency. Right? We are not attached to impermanent house. If somebody is getting married and say tomorrow we are getting divorced, no one will get married. They always say forever we are together. We are always attached to the idea of a permanency, something that is not impermanent. House, job, relationship, not impermanent. Why? Because we forget. The Buddha said everything arises due to karma. Anything that arises due to all cause and conditions is by nature impermanent. Because it's impermanent, if you get attached, you are attaching to an illusion, something that doesn't exist, something that cannot last forever by its nature. That is why disappointment is for sure, sooner or later, if you are attached to it. That is why Buddha said that life is like a dream, like an illusion. Why is it like an illusion and like a dream? Because everything is impermanent. Everything is constantly changing. what happened yesterday. Maybe we were happy, maybe we were sad, maybe we were excited. Maybe we went to Sydney Harbour, like me and my uncle, we went to Sydney Harbour. We saw many nice shopping places. We went, but today it is a dream, like it never existed. And whatever we are experiencing today is tomorrow's dream. And why is it dream? Because of impermanent, because it is compounded, because it arises due to cause and condition. That is why, by understanding the karma, we also understand impermanent nature of compounded things are impermanent. And because we understand the karma, we also understand the emptiness also. The Heart Sutra also will understand, we can understand about the karma. Because we forget this truth. When we are sad, we feel this sadness will never end. The pain that we are going through will never end. But pain is also impermanent. Yesterday's pain, last year's pain, 10 years ago, when you were young, failing your class, not getting a job, or getting a job, getting promotion, getting married, children, not having children, all of these experiences right now, when you look back at that part of life, it's like a dream, as if it never happened. Similarly, when you are happy also, we forget that, what you are feeling, happiness also arises due to cause and conditions. That conditions is subject to impermanent change. And because of that, today's happiness will be tomorrow's memory. That is why we can't. When we are happy, we are too happy. When we are sad, we are totally depressed. It's too up and down because of we forget the teaching of impermanence. If we meditate, reflect deeply on the Buddha's teaching of the karma, we also understand the shunyata, the prajna paramita. During Buddha's time, one old lady asked the Buddha, where does the form, human form, and the five aggregates, where do they come from? Where do our form go? And Buddha answered, my dear lady, old lady, my mother, please, old lady who is like my mother, please answer me. When there is a fire, where does the fire come from? Where does the fire go? And the old lady answered, when the wood, when the kerosene or whatever the conditioned to create the fire, when these conditions are there, fire appears. When these conditions ceases to exist, fire is also gone. Fire ceases to exist. Fire doesn't come from anywhere. Fire doesn't go anywhere. When these conditions come together, so-called the fire, appears or exists. And Buddha said similarly, all the phenomena are like that. When the cause and condition comes together, so-called phenomena, physical and etc., all the phenomena aggregates, exist. When these conditions cease to exist, phenomena too cease to exist. It doesn't come from anywhere. It doesn't go anywhere. Right? So that is why, phenomena have no inherent reality. So by meditating, reflecting on the teachings of the karma, the non-existing part, the shunyata nature of the phenomena can also be understood through the karma. So through the teaching of the karma, there are many aspects of, aspect to the teaching of the karma. In one way, when you understand that everything arises due to cause and condition, you also begin to understand that life is full of possibility. In terms of day-to-day life, it's possible to become healthy, it is possible to become successful, it's possible to change your relationship, it's possible to change your life, and lives and lives to come. And also through the karma, teaching of the karma, you understand that Pure Land is also possible. Heaven is also possible. Hell is also possible. And even this world is possible because of cause and condition. From the pollution to the ozone layer being thinning, all of this arises due to cause and condition. Nothing happens by accident. That is why Buddha was asked, is the hell real? Is the hell realm real? And Buddha asked, no, it is not real. Who will go and make the hell? Which company, go and make the manufacture the hell? Construction company. No construction company manufactured hell. Who are the security guards there? Who hired them? Nobody hired them. It is your own karma cause the condition, mental cause the condition, physical form cause conditioned. Like that makes you experience the so-called the hell, so-called the hell, heaven, the so-called the human realm, due to cause and conditions coming together. It's your own karma and negative mind that makes you experience the hell. Hell also have no inherent reality. If you are born as a color blind, you will never see certain color. If you have a mental problem like schizophrenia, you will see things which other people cannot see. That is your cause and condition that makes you experience these things. So that is why cause and condition, in terms of day-to-day life, it makes you understand that your life is full of possibility. On a larger scale, it understands the world itself, universe itself, arises due to cause and condition and full of possibility. Nothing is impossible if you understand the cause and condition. So, generally speaking, Buddha said that, as I mentioned earlier, positive karma is something that benefits others, and that will create a similar cause condition for you. If you plant an apple, chili will never come out. But if a human being marry, baby kangaroo will never come out. It's a cause condition impossible, right? Unless, of course, scientifically, if they do create a cause condition, may be possible, but generally not. Right? So, similarly, Buddha said, if you want long life, save life of other being. Don't eat meat, reduce eating meat, save the life of another being. You will have a long life. Give medicine to others, you will have a good health. You want to be rich, offer to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, offer to your parent, offer to people who are going through suffering. Even your small amount will mean a lot to people who are suffering. These three are the great source of offering. Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, your parents who took care of you when you came with nothing. No bank balance, no education, nothing. Only know how to cry, but still they take care of you, and we become so big. So being good to your parent is a great source of good karma. By being kind to the people who are going through suffering, even one kind word can mean so much to other people who are suffering. Create the positive karma. Yes, Buddha has said. Similarly, if you want to have be respected and trusted, speak honestly. If you don't want to, so basically all the 10 negative Buddha has said, do not kill, do not steal, do not lie, do not do sexual misconduct, etc. All of these Buddha has taught so that we will know how to create the positive cause condition until we become enlightened. Because until we become enlightened, we are in the samsara. When we are in the samsara, we also want to have we want happiness, we don't want suffering. So happiness also arises due to cause condition. So that is why, that is the generally speaking, we talk like that, the 10 positive, negative action to avoid, 10 positive karma we should accumulate, accumulate for happiness in the samsara. All of the Buddha's teachings, do not do this negative karma, do not kill, do not steal, do not do gambling, for example, do not drink alcohol. None of this is to say that if you drink alcohol, Buddha will punish you. Not at all. You can say it's my democratic right to drink alcohol and get a liver cirrhosis. But what Buddha is saying is that if you drink alcohol, in the beginning you might feel is your democratic freedom, but once you become addicted to alcohol, your democratic freedom will be controlled by a bottle of rum. Right? At that time you have no freedom. Even if your family asks you to stop, you cannot stop. You know that you are destroying your life, but you cannot stop, because that is the time you have truly lost your freedom to the addiction. Similar to the gambling. So all of the Buddha's teachings about not doing is not about commandment, it's about not creating a negative cause condition that will destroy you, your life, and lives of the beings around you. Right? So this we have to understand. That's why in the Buddha Dharma there is a lot of freedom, but also responsibility. Responsibility towards your own choices, decisions, your way of thinking, your way of looking at the world. The words that you speak, everything creates cause and condition. Cause and condition is not only when we go to the temple. When you wake up in the morning, how you say, words you use in the family have a cause and condition. The words you use with the colleague in the office have a karma. Even if you speak to an Uber driver, there is a cause and condition. You speak nicely, you may get discount. I got many times. So that is what you have to kind of, the foundation that I'm trying to share with you. Because actually we are supposed to talk here about bardo, which is, intermediate stage, which means bardo, which also means in life, it also means after we die. In the Vajrayana we talk about what will happen, what you will see, many things, yes. But, before we talk of going to Sydney, we have to know where is Australia first, And then we talk, I go to Sydney. So this karma and taming your mind, this is the Australia of Buddha Dharma. And then, the bardo is, maybe one of the state, New South Wales, or I don't know, whichever the state Sydney belongs to, we are going. So I think that part, after lunch, we will come and talk about the bardo. Thank you, Venerable, for translating. Now coming back to the teaching, there was a wish requested by the Venerables. Today we will be talking now about bardo. The meaning of the bardo, all the bardo teachings are translated from the Sanskrit. So in the Himalayan language, when we say bardo, bardo means in between. For example, between the door and the shrine, you guys are sitting there, so in between. Basically, between when you are born and until you die, you are in a bardo. When you die and until you take birth, you are in a bardo. So bardo means in between. So Buddha taught about 6 bardo, 6 in between stages. The first bardo is called the bardo between birth and the death, which means we are right now in the first bardo. We are born, from the mother's womb we come out. We are not yet dead. We are, so we are. But every day, every second, we are going nearer and nearer to a death, even though we don't realize it. We think that we get old only when you are 60 or 70, but the moment you are born, every second, we are already getting old. Our life is in a constant motion. The first bardo of between birth and the death, if you give an example, it is like from here to Saigon, how many hour flight?
8 hours.
8 hours. Yeah. So like flying from like Sydney to Saigon, you're flying, and when you're flying, the stewardess, they give you tea, you eat tea, you have breakfast, you have lunch, you talk, you go to the bathroom, you talk to each other, maybe you don't like the seat, somebody is snoring near you, you're angry, all of so many things are happening up there. But without you kind of really knowing about it, if you look at the map on the seat, you can see, that from Sydney, now you're flying over the, Indian Ocean or Pacific or Indian Ocean, then slowly now over Indonesia, now over, near the Thailand, then the Vietnam, and then, welcome to Saigon. So like that, from the moment we are born, the plane never stops. The moment we are born, our flight from Sydney take off, and in the plane, we are, going to school, getting passed, getting job, getting married, having children, having grandchildren, worrying about the school, worrying about the house, worrying about what people say about us, what people don't say about us. So many worry we have, and we live so many experiences, But every day, the plane of life has never stopped moving. And then, when the time for death comes, then the plane has landed in Saigon. So that is the first bardo. So this bardo is right now. We are in this bardo between birth and the death. And in the teaching it says, if you think carefully, how many years have been gone since we were born? How many people we have seen pass away, our friend, our family member pass away, how many prime minister change, how many president change, so many changes that we have seen in the world, in our own life, and every second there is no way to stop the time and stop the life. People say time is money. Buddha Dharma will say time is life. It's life that we are, that is constantly the moving. So there is not much of time to be very lazy and sick, be very confident that, I don't need to do positive karma for next life. No worries, I can live forever. There is nothing like that. Every second the life is moving. And when the life is moving, when it lands in Saigon, all the worries of what happening in the plane, service is good or not, snoring or all of this will not matter, once you are landed. So similarly, when you are about to, when this life journey ends, and when the next life journey is about to start, only thing that will matter is what karma, cause, the condition we have created for life and life to come. That is why knowing that we are in the bardo between the birth and the death, as much as possible not harming other being, as much as possible benefiting other being, and doing whatever you can to improve and transform your mind through the Dharma, so that when the plane lands in the Saigon, you don't have to regret. That is the practice of the first bardo. Then the second bardo is called the dream bardo. It means that when you fall asleep and until you wake up, you are between the two nights falling asleep, and until you wake up, you are dead to the world. When you are sleeping deeply, what is happening around you, nothing. There's no, all this world, the outside world is not existing for you. And within your own, dream world, you dream of becoming rich, becoming poor, being healthy, maybe having a baby and the baby has died and you are sad and you wake up in the morning crying, so whatever experience you are going through in the dream until you wake up, this is called the dream bardo. And what we can learn from this bardo is that normally we will say that, in my dream I dream that I make a lot of money, I'm very happy, but when I wake up, no money, very sad, only the mortgage. Similarly, in your dream, you dream something very sad, but when you wake up, you are very happy. It was just a dream. I'm so relieved. You feel very happy. That's just a dream. But from the Buddha's teaching point of view, between dream and the real life, there is no difference. How it is so? Because when you wake up from your dream, whatever you dreamt about, good and bad, it is something like a memory, but you cannot hold. Similarly, what happened yesterday, what happened this morning is something in the memory, but you cannot really hold. When the time for death comes, when we are about to die, past 60 years, 70 years, we become rich, successful, whatever we become, whatever suffering, happiness, greatness we went through, it's just a memory, maybe some photograph, but there's nothing really hold on to except memory. So similarly, life is also like a dream. And similarly, in the dream, when something good happens to you, you get promotion, you meet the person you love, you feel so happy. And when negative things happen in a dream, we feel very sad. As long as we don't realize it is a dream, because we think it's a real. If tomorrow, by someday, some people by their good karma in the dream, they can recognize this is just a dream. If you are able to recognize dream as a dream, whatever is happening in the dream will not affect you. You will not be sad, you will not be happy, you see it as a dream. Like you watch a movie and you remind yourself this is just a movie. That person has not really died, it's just acting. So similarly, when you know it's a dream, it doesn't affect you. Similarly, in our life also, as long as what we believe, what we see, what we experience, we think it is a real, it's a real. For example, when you love somebody, that person is your friend, and somebody says something bad to your friend, you are very upset. After 6 months, you are no longer friend with that person. Other people are talking bad about your past friend. You will join and criticize together, and you are very happy to criticize. What has changed? Your mind believed that that person is your friend. Your mind's concept has changed. Your belief in your concept has changed. We human beings have many beliefs, many concepts that we think are real. If you can talk to a kangaroo, if you tell a kangaroo, I am not popular in social media, I am very depressed, kangaroo will be very confused. Kangaroo doesn't have an Instagram or a Facebook, they don't care how many like, right? We human beings created this technology, and we human beings believe that if you have many like, means you can be happy, it's very good, It's our own human mind concept. If you tell a kangaroo, I am not very beautiful, I am very sad, kangaroo will say, anyway, you all are ugly, Because from kangaroo's point of view, even the Miss Vietnam will be ugly, Because kangaroo like only kangaroo, they don't like human being, So all our stress about, the appearance and many things we have is a human construct, conceptual thing. That is why if you look at the history of the, beauty, fashion over the years, changed so much, I think during maybe, when you are younger, fashion is different now, Now fashion is different. But today's younger generation, after 20 years, they'll be old fashioned, Then that generation will say, oh, these are out of fashion, old people, right? So again the same, the fashion is also in your mind, success, failure, all of these are human constructs. That's why we human beings have a lot of stress, because we create a lot of concept and we believe. We don't understand that it's our concept that's projected outside. We believe that it is real outside, that we don't understand. We are the projector seeing the movie. We think the movie is real, Even though if you really think about it, whatever you like, whatever is from the desire is seen as happiness and a beautiful and a friend. Whatever you don't like is a suffering. There is no externally happy or sad or good or bad. It's what you desire manifests as a happiness, anger manifests as a suffering. Before in Asia, I think the same in Vietnam, India, Himalaya region, poor people usually walk, we walk, it's the poor people. Little bit richer go bicycle, then richer motorcycle, then the car, very rich. We all want to buy a car. Now that we are, as a country, we develop, we say, oh, going in the car too much, we have not health. We leave the car aside and go bicycling and go walking, and go to the fitness, to do exercise, So it's how human mind, we create all sort of different concept and definition of what is happiness, what is happiness, what is success. So many concepts we have, and we don't even realize that it is our mind, individually and collectively, that is creating this reality. That's why we have a lot of stress. That I think sometimes many people told me also. They say when they look at kangaroo, when they look at dog, they feel dog very lucky. They say, oh, dog no stress. Dog no need to worry about rent, about job, about promotion, about boyfriend, girlfriend, about Instagram, so many things. They don't need to worry, They feel. Actually, Buddha said it's very difficult to be born as a human being. We are very lucky. But because we have too many concepts we create and we believe this illusion, that's why sometimes we human beings feel dog is more lucky than us. That's why Vietnamese people come to Australia. Australia people for holiday go to Vietnam. In happiness in Australia or Vietnam, we don't need to travel. But Vietnamese or Asian, we feel Australia is happiness, so we come here. Australia, they are tired of Australia. They want to live, see the nature, very simple life. So they go to Australia, they go to Vietnam, right? Because the reality of happiness is your projection, is in our own mind. But as long as we believe it is the real, I'm sure that Vietnamese, we Asian, when we reach Australia, we really feel happy because it's a reflection of our concepts are like a mirror, and our experiences of happiness, sadness is like the reflection that we see in the mirror. So the other people, they feel that is why single people want to get married. Married people want to be single. Rich people want simple life. There's not so rich, simple people. They want rich people life. We are all admiring each other, without realizing that the real cause of happiness and the suffering is projection of your own mind. It has no external reality. But as long as we believe it, as long as you believe the dream is real, it is real until you wake up. As long as what we believe right now is a real. If in the Vietnamese society you are very famous, you feel very good. But when you're out of Vietnamese society, suddenly nobody knows you. You feel like a nothing, right? So then you tell people, you think in your mind, they don't know how important I am, If only they knew, then you may say, check my Facebook, look how much follower I have, how rich I am. So maybe we show some branded clothes or some diamond we take out, to show, right? Because we want to create that concept in other people's mind that we are something, right? So that is why Buddha said, dream and the life, there is no difference. In the dream, whatever you experience when you wake up, there's nothing. Past 20, 30 years, all the happiness, sadness, when you look back now, nothing but a dream. In a dream, what you believe to be real, then the pain and happiness comes. In a life too, when you don't understand that your concepts are creating happy, sad, success, beautiful, ugly, so many things, and these concepts are getting reflected back at you as experience. We don't understand that. We are trapped by the dream of the life. So that is the second bardo between the dream and the awakening, sleep and awakening. So that is why in the Vajrayana there is also a practice called dream yoga. Dream yoga. So dream yoga is, very simply speaking, when you are about to sleep, you pray to Buddha to recognize your dream. You sleep, right now, usually right now we sleep with, some people have difficulty sleeping, maybe some people sleep very distracted basically, maybe listening to something or thinking something or just too tired. But in the dream yoga practice, you pray to Buddha and you sleep with awareness. And when you pray and when you do after some time, what happens is that even you can recognize dream as a dream. So when you're able to do that, then slowly, then you begin to recognize the dream. You see all that dreams are happening, looks so real, but you understand that this is not a real, this is not inherently not existing. And if you're really good at it, you can even change your dream. In your dream, you can go to Pure Land, etc. Anyway, the most important is when you understand the dream, reality of the dream, you will also understand the reality of the life. So that's why there is also a practice called dream yoga, one of them, the method. So anyway, this is the second bardo of the dream bardo. Okay. The third bardo is called the meditation samadhi bardo, which doesn't happen to ordinary people like us. When you become a very, very good in meditation, then when you go into the one-pointedness meditation, all the ordinary thoughts, and the concepts dissolves into that one-pointedness, where basically all thoughts, all the various thoughts ceases, and you are able to remain in a one-pointed mind. When you reach certain level, ordinary consciousness stops, and then until when you come out of the samadhi and the normal kind of dualistic consciousness arises, it is called the bardo of the samadhi. So these three bardo, in a way we separate them, but in a one way, these are all a part of the bardo between birth and the death. Because whether it's a dream, whether it's samadhi, these are all happening after we are born and before we die. So these are all part of the first bardo. Then the fourth bardo, it is called bardo when the process of death starts, and then until our consciousness comes out of the body, it's the fourth bardo. It's called the bardo between the process of the dying and the consciousness coming out and the actual death. So that is the fourth bardo. So when it is said that when we are human beings are alive in this world, there are three kind of the conditions that keep us alive in this world. One is the karma to be born as a human being, and the life force, and then the merit. When these three are finished, karma to be born as a human being, and and the merit and the life force, when all of these three are finished, no amount of prayer, puja, no amount of doctor, no amount of anything what you can do, we cannot extend the life. For example, there is a candle that can stay for 3-4 hours, but suddenly the wind can blow. You can protect it from the wind, but you can, when the wick and the wax, everything is finished, there is nothing you can do. Similarly, the moment you are born as a human being, your human being form is arising due to cause and condition, so that once this cause and condition have anything that is compounded is impermanent. So that is why none of us can evade death forever. Due to some good karma, some prayer, we can extend it a little bit. But anyway, when the karma, merit, everything is finished, then when the time for death comes, then you feel sick. There is no way to cure the sickness. Whatever we have done in this life, and nothing will help. No amount of the wealth, relative power, there's nothing that we can take with us. Only thing that will go with us is a negative or positive karmic imprint that has been left in our mind. So the master, says that at that time, Buddha said, at that time, if you have practiced the Dharma well in your life, if every day you have done Amitabha Buddha, Azida Buddha practice, and every day you have visualized, you going to Amitabha Buddha Pure Land, being reborn Amitabha Buddha Pure Land, and that time all the practice you have done, the confidence that you have in your practice, because every time you visualize, you pray to be born into Amitabha Buddha Pure Land, it is like a mental exercise of your mind going to Amitabha Buddha Pure Land, So it is like, because when we die, it's not the body that will go, it's the mind that is go. So someone who does remember Amitabha Buddha, his Pure Land, with the devotion, I always think of going there. In a way, it's like exercising or sending your mind there, so that when the time for death comes, it is very easy for you to go there because you have practiced it every day. If you can do that, you are a great practitioner. Now, what to do? Let's say that in your day-to-day life, you have not been a very consistent Dharma practitioner. What should we do? And the master said that even if you have, in your day-to-day life, you are not that good a practitioner, you should not give up hope. Because the time of death is a very, very crucial point. It's like you plan and buy the ticket to go to Vietnam and everything, but at the Sydney airport, you go to the wrong plane and go to India, you will not reach Vietnam. You have to choose the correct airplane. The Sydney airport is also very important. Similarly, even if your entire life you have been a very good person, but at the time of the death, you die full of anger, regret, jealousy, frustration. Instead of remembering the Buddha Dharma, remembering Amitabha Buddha, there is a big chance for you to go into the lower realm. Even if you are a negative person, you do not do too much of Dharma, but at the time of the death, if you can remember the Buddha Amitabha, remember the teacher, and if you can have a strong aspiration, it is possible that at the time of death, you may go to Amitabha, or at least to the positive, because this is the crucial time. Right now, no matter what we pray, at the time right now, our karma to be born as a human being has not finished. But at the time of the death, karma to be born as a human is complete. The next life karma is not yet ripened. So it's a very important, crucial point. So that is why how we die is very, very important, the part of the process of dying. So when, whether you are a practitioner or not, when the time for death has come, when the doctors have given up, when you know that now there is not much of opportunity to recover, first important is to remember, remember the Buddha that you are close to, whether it is, Konteam, whether it is Azida, whether it is, the whatever Buddha you are connected to every day, you feel connected to remember that Buddha, to remember your teacher, very, very important to remember them. And after remembering them or visualizing that Buddha Amitabha Azida is in front of you, then you have to make an offering. You have to offering is a very, very important. Maybe you might say, oh, that time, my mouth is full of oxygen, I cannot even move my hand, I cannot make offering, doesn't matter. Buddha doesn't want your property, but we need to let go of the attachment. We need to accumulate the merit. Because what will happen if we can't let go of attachment? Many of us, we don't really, I think we can't really imagine the pain of the dying. I don't mean physically, of course, but mentally. Even in this day, tomorrow, if we lose our fame, lose our job, lose our family, lose our home, how much of suffering and pain we go through, others go through. But at the time of a death, you are losing everything. Your name, your country, your PR, citizenship, that time PR is not permanent, it's a TR, temporary resident. There is no PR in the world, it's just a name. Everything is being left behind, family, friend, billions of dollars, if you have the house, the wife, children, even the very body that we cherish so much, for the sake of my body, we are willing to spend millions of dollars, but even that cherished body. That is why in the Himalaya, the body is called Lu, which means something that consciousness has to go and body has to be left behind. So in the Himalaya, body is called Lu. All of this has to be left behind. You can imagine the pain and the fear that we have to go through. So, the Dharma teachers, many of my teachers I have seen, how they think of dying and how we ordinary people think of dying is very different. I don't know, but I think that many of us, we want to die, and we see in the movie also, that our hope to die is to be surrounded by our family members, and they hold our hand, and then maybe they say goodbye, mama, and we say goodbye, and then we close and die. Looks very real, looks very nice, but from the Dharma point of view, that is not the way that we aspire to. One of the greatest yogi of the Himalaya, Milarepa, said that when I die, I want to die in a cave alone, where there is no relatives around me to cry, and maybe fake tears also, no relatives to make me angry, make me irritated, maybe fighting before I die also, talking about property and devotion, I don't know, making you sign, or maybe they love you very much, but still they are reminding you of something that you have to leave behind, but you have no choice about it, no control. Even if they say, mama stay, father stay, you can't stay. They just remind, this more of pain, more of attachment. That is why Milarepa said, when I die, I want to die alone, with no tears, no attachment, remembering the Buddha Dharma, remembering my Guru, remembering my practice, may I able to die without any sort of attachment. In the Himalaya, our wealth, whether it is a money, fame, house, the name for the wealth is called Longchut. Longchut means something that you can utilize but you can never own. Which means that, for example, this wonderful temple we have, for the 2 days, thanks to the kindness of Venerable, we are like the owner, After 2 days we have to go. But similarly like that, all our house, wealth, whatever we have, the property we have, before we came, somebody else said this land belonged to us. Maybe it is the indigenous people, of Australia. They say this is our land, Then the other people came, then we came. After we go away, somebody else will be staying in our land, so-called our land, so-called our jewelry, our money will belong to somebody for some period of time. So when we say something belong to me, it is only in our mind that we think this really belong to me, nothing else. If you ask your house, do you know it belong to me? Your house will say, I don't know. If your house can speak, right? That is why what we do to each other when you buy, we have a paper and sign to support the illusion of the transfer of ownership. Actually, the transfer of the property is not happening in the paper, it's happening in the mind, mind of the people, mind of the society, right? So whatever ownership of similarly, fame is like that too. You are famous, what it means in the mind of the people, they think of you for 5 minutes once a day, Nobody thinks of somebody for 24 hours, no matter how famous, they are too busy thinking of themselves. It is in mind. Fame is also mind. Criticism is also in our mind, collectively, individually, So that is why that Longchut, the word Longchut, utility, wealth is called utility, is that there is great meaning. Now why are these names very important? Because it prepares us for the reality of the the third, the bardo of the death. When we are dying, why do we have so much of pain and fear? Generally you can say it's because of two. One is because you are being forced to leave things that you are attached to. People, house, your body. You have no choice. You are very attached to it. But you are forced to leave. If you are not attached, you don't care. If somebody steals your old shoe, you don't mind. If they steal your brand new shoe you buy yesterday, forget about stealing. Even if your sister wears without your permission, you'll be very angry. Right? Why? Because of the attachment. So that is why attachment to things that we are forced to leave is one of the reasons we have a pain. And second reason we have a fear is because we don't know where we are going. It's a very unknown place we are going. That is why remembering the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, especially remembering Amitabha Buddha, even when we are alive right now, we have to create the 4 conditions that can make that Amitabha Buddha promise to us that we will be born in his pure land and continue our practice to become a Buddha. This is very important. That is why tomorrow we will talk about Amitabha Buddha pure land. How to be reborn is important. But if you can do these 2 things, remember create the cause and condition to Amitabha Buddha's pure land, remember him. That means that from a poor country you are going to a rich country. Nobody feels sad. They are happy to get the visa. They'll happily go. If from the poor country to Asia you get a US visa, you go happily. You will not cry. But if you are deported back, maybe you will cry. So that's why if you know from samsara you are going to Amitabha Buddha pure land, and someone who is a genuinely Amitabha Buddha practitioner, it is said that when you are about to die, you will actually see Amitabha Buddha. He will guide you. Then there is no fear. It's actually a joy to die. And all the wealth that you have, you understand. Maybe you can offer when you are alive, you are generous, you are kind to your parents, to Buddha Dharma, to people who are suffering. But even if you are not, at least at the time of the death, from the mind, you offer to Buddha, Amitabha Buddha. Because anyway, ownership is in your mind only. From your mind you offer to Amitabha Buddha. You understand that life is like a dream. If you can understand that, dying process will not be something that we have to fear so much. That is the whole reason to teach the bardo, to understand the process of dying and how to handle it. So in the Himalaya, it is a tradition that when someone is about to die, they call us, call the master, the practitioner, and they try to make sure that near that person there is nobody who will irritate them, make them more angry, more upset, create a very positive environment. And then the master will come, and what will master tell them is that, now this life is like a dream. In this dream, you are a president, you are a prime minister, you are the most beautiful person, you had a husband, wife, children, whatever experience you had gone through, it was a dream of this life. Now this dream is ending. Realize it is a dream. Don't be attached to it. Rather than being attached to this dream, offer to Amitabha Buddha. Offer your husband. Of course, Amitabha Buddha doesn't need your husband, for sure. But from your mind, you need to let go. So offer your husband to Amitabha Buddha. Your wife, your children, your car, your money, whatever you have. From my mind, even the very body that I am so attached to, my body, everything I offer to Amitabha Buddha. All the negative karma I have accumulated by harming others, I confess and purify. May Amitabha Buddha purify me. May I go to Amitabha Buddha pure land and become and Amitabha Buddha pure land is not a heaven like the other religion. Other religion, they go to heaven and they enjoy forever. Amitabha Buddha Pure Land is a place where you go to receive the teaching, practice the paramita, become Buddha, and then come back to help the sentient being. So that is why with the bodhicitta to go to Amitabha Buddha Pure Land, become Buddha and benefit sentient being. With these sort of aspiration you have to develop. This is the advice that the masters give to the people who are dying. Before I went to, many years ago, I went to Singapore. I had a friend of mine. He's very, friend who liked to joke all the time. So he told me, the teacher, every day you say to chant. What is the point? He said he chant every day 2 hours. Then I also joke with him. I say, you chant every day 2 hours. Maybe you see no benefit, but it benefit your wife and children. They get 2 hour peace every day from you. So, if you think about it, if every day 2 hours you do chanting, that means that from your body you are near the Buddha. Your body is not killing other people, other beings, eating meat. You are not stealing what belongs to other. You are not having sexual misconduct, because your body is doing the practice. Your speech is not lying, not using words that hurt the feelings of others. Words can destroy. They say, words are soft, but it can destroy, shatter the hearts of people who hear our words. You are not using your speech to hurt others. You are not gossiping about other people's fall and negativity. You are not creating your words to create problem in the family, disharmony. They are talking this about you, that about you, making people fight. Your mind is not thinking of how to hurt other people, how to deceive other people, right? How to take what belongs to others. So that is why every day when you do the practice, whether it's for 1 hour, 2 hours, your body, speech, mind is not harming others. Your body is engaged towards, Dharma practice. Your speech, you are doing the mantra. Your mind is remembering the Buddha, who is the embodiment of compassion and wisdom. And by remembering the Buddha, you will also slowly develop the quality of the Buddha. If you every day you think about, whatever you think about, if you think of the footballer all the time, you will also like to be a footballer. If you think of some big rich person, you also think of money and the shares and the stocks all the time. Dow Jones all the time in your mind. But if you think of only the Buddha, who you respect because of wisdom and compassion he embodies, you will also develop that quality. So you remember the Buddha, you pray for the sake of every sentient being. That is how we slowly transform our mind, transform our body, speech, mind. When you transform your body, speech, and the mind, you will transform your actions. Actions will have a reaction. That's how you change the life and lives to come. Everybody wants to be a good person, but being a good person is not a choice, it's a habit. When you get angry, do you say, tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. I'm going to get angry? No, you don't have a choice. When anger comes, desire comes, because of the negative habit we practice every day. But when it comes to controlling your body, speech, mind, wisdom, compassion, if we don't practice, how can we run marathon suddenly without any sort of practice beforehand? So that is why daily practice to transform our life, be ready to handle when the death comes, through Amitabha Buddha practice, through offering, it's very, very important. It's not about Buddha need, but we need to learn letting go from the mind. So today we'll keep the Bardo teaching here. And then tomorrow we'll continue about the process of dying. We think that when we die it is just a one step, but in the Bardo teaching it says it is not like that. Our 5 senses, seeing, hearing, all of this starts to degrade as we age, and especially when the time for death comes, the 5 senses shut down one by one. The 5 elements of our body start to shut down. Then we experience various things. Anyway, I think we will, according to Vajrayana,
someone can be in the bardo, that means you die, but before you take rebirth, up to 49 days. So that part I think that we will talk tomorrow. So today let's do a little bit of Amitabha Buddha, recitation, and after that there is a prayer about the bardo, which I do not think we have in Vietnamese, but English. I think that many people can understand English. So after the Amitabha Buddha, we'll do a bardo prayer.